Pew, pew, pew. I'm Red Hood, and you're watching Comics Experiment.
Well, I mean, he's still, on par for being terrible at intros.
Welcome to the Comics Experiment.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Comics Experiment right here at the Comicstorian Podcast Network. Aired live every Thursday at twitch.tv/Comicstorian, roundabout 3 p.m. Eastern. I sit down with Andy and Dan and we chat about something interesting, or we make a game, or we go through the philosophy of comic books, or, like today, we speculate. How will Knull get into the MCU?
Through a portal. No. I'm just kidding. Thanks for watching.
All right, well, that was it.
A Knull portal?
Yes.
All right, today's episode is brought to you by G Fuel. Use code COMICS at checkout. Get 10% off of your order right now. They've got Venom and Carnage flavors up for pre-order, and soon we will have a taste test for you if they ever arrive.
I'm going to say Venom tastes like boysenberry. And Carnage tastes like burning.
Carnage
Tastes
tastes like blood.
Oh, wait, no. That's my blood cup. Wrong cup. There's the Carnage.
Are there any other sponsors today, Dan?
Yes, in the middle of today's show, I was able to interview Tom Hardy after I was able to see the Venom Let There Be Carnage movie. And yeah, you guys will get to see that. Unfortunately, at the time of recording this, I am not allowed to give you my opinion. But when it comes out, I can, so hit me up.
He's not going to give you his opinion, but he's going to hard spoil. So
All right, let me tell you, Venom's in the movie.
That would be really funny, actually.
we're under NDA except for spoilers.
I'm going to spoil this movie hard. I'm not going to tell you whether I liked it or not, but I will tell you all the twists.
Now, all joking aside, there will be zero spoilers from the movie in here. Mm-hmm. Dan is the only one who got to see it. And yeah, that's all we really got on that one. Mm-hmm. And one last thing. We also have another channel known as Absolutely Marvel and DC, where we'll be doing a full review of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and various other TV shows being brought out by Marvel and DC and Sony. So if you want to see our opinions and all of that, go check out the channel that Dan and I do with Sal and Dylan, Absolutely Marvel and DC. Don't question the wording. Don't question the wording.
I wasn't even going to make fun of the way you said do. I was going to make fun of the way you kind of like started stumbling over all the words.
There's a lot of words in there.
With Sal and Dylan.
Well, Benny started going through and he's like, oh, I do so many channels. Who's on this one? It's Sal and Dylan, I think.
For those who are wondering, we have 7 channels that are all in the works at this point.
I think so, and I think we've got at least 2 more in the works, or at least in the idea stage.
Mangastorian, you can YouTube search all of these. Mangastorian, Dungeons and Ale, Absolutely Marvel and DC, Absolutely PlayStation and Steam Gamers, yet to be named Ghost Stories from Benny, yet to be named Let's Plays with Andy.
Highly unlikely.
Absolute Comics.
Absolute Comics. Yeah, there's an actual real one. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go into what each and every one of those do because this is not what this podcast is about, but search those. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, especially the Let's Play with Andy.
That's actually the name of the channel.
Let's Play with Andy.
And you don't actually play video games.
It's just like a cartoon of my face.
It's actually going to stay as a permanent channel with nothing on it. Yeah. We're going to see how many subscribers we can get.
No, it'll be a channel, and there will be one video on it, and it's Andy going, no.
I'm not doing that. Nobody wants to see me play old shooters from the 90s and 2000s. Maybe they do. I don't know.
They probably would.
If you did the aesthetic properly, you got out that old tube monitor and a computer with floppies, and you're just like...
You got to make sure they are aware that it's static.
First of all, also by the late 90s, early 2000s, we had CDs.
Right. That's how old you're going. You're going to Zork or Zorn.
First of all, not a first-person shooter from the 90s or 2000s.
Whatever, Pong.
All right, let's okay.
You shoot the ball.
I just want to hit him so hard.
So Knull
in the MCU. So this theory,
he's out there.
Oh, all right. Well, that's today's episode.
Think about it.
So today we wanted to bring this up because for the longest time, they have said in all the interviews and things like that, Spider-Man will never be in the Venom movies. Mm-hmm. No one believed that. But they've been saying that.
To be fair, they also said Spider-Man would never be in the MCU.
Yeah.
This is true.
Coincidence?
So
probably not.
For the longest time, they were saying that, okay? Recently, Andy Serkis came out and said, of course Venom's going to fight Spider-Man. So... that's already been thrown out the window. We don't know when, how. Could be 10 years down the road.
That'd be sweet. It's a different Venom and a different Spider-Man at that point, but whatever.
Actually, it turns out it's Tom Holland as Venom and Tom Hardy.
I would
as
watch
Spider-Man.
that.
I actually would too.
That would be
pretty
so
They
awesome.
body swap at the beginning.
I was
And
just
then
going to
they
with like
fight.
an alternate universe kind of thing. I would watch that.
So, of course, let's assume, for the sake of speculation of today, Venom 6, he is now in the MCU. So everything's brought over.
It's Venom 6, but it's only Spider-Man 4. We had a weird gap between Spider-Man
They
movies.
binged Venom movies. They were like, let's just do
back
it
to
all.
back.
And I want to clarify for legal reasons, because we have an interview with Tom Hardy in the middle of this. All of this is speculation
Yes.
and fun. All of this, okay? We have no confirmation on Knull. We have no confirmation on Spider-Man outside of one comment made by a director that has probably been twisted out of proportion at this point.
Well, and Topher
One-
Grace on Reddit.
Oh, yeah,
Forget
Topher
about
Grace
that
One comic that was not with us. It's not like we talked to Andy Serkis.
Yeah, exactly.
I almost got to, but
would've been
apparently he
sweet.
had to leave.
Just ask him to do the Gollum voice the whole time.
I'm sure he would have loved that.
I'm sure he never gets sick of that.
But for legal reasons, all of this is fun speculation. So we're at Venom 6. It's the year 2032. We're at Spider-Man 4 because Tom Holland took a break in between them.
I mean, 10 years, 4 movies. That's actually not terrible.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's pretty good for
Yeah.
like Marvel movie pace.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Okay, and at Venom 6, it has now been deemed Venom is in the proper MCU. There's been 2 other Spider-Men since then, but
So you're saying Tom Hardy is still playing?
well, of course,
Venom
I
as
will
well?
never
Okay.
accept anyone else as Venom at this point.
Unless they swap
Topher
over
Grace.
to Flash Thompson.
The
I-
best Venom.
I stand by my statement.
I don't know. I would love to see a Flash Thompson Venom.
That would be sweet.
Well, yeah, no,
But it's still Tom Hardy. He just dyes his hair.
That'd be funny.
no, he doesn't even dye his hair.
It's just, he
just
literally
him.
it's just Eddie becomes Agent Venom. That's how they do it. There's no military training, but whatever.
So we're all the way in the future. Venom is still in there. Spider-Man's been swapped out. It, for some weird reason, became Andrew Garfield again for 10 years in the middle after everyone freaked out about his
Andrew
appearance.
Garfield goes to be Spider-Man again. Topher Grace as Venom.
No, you really want Topher Grace as Venom.
I think it would be hilarious.
Have you seen Topher Grace's
Michael
new TV
Cera as Carnage.
show? Okay, that would be good.
No CGI.
No,
Just
no.
Michael Cera.
He just has a big red blanket. Ah!
I'd watch that movie.
And Mike Myers is Knull.
I'd watch that movie. I'd watch that movie.
So obviously, now that Venom is in the MCU in the year 2032 at Venom 6, Venom 7 is Let There Be Knull.
What an
No,
odd
it would
title.
be Venom, Null and Void.
Venom, King in Black.
That's probably what they would go with.
I don't like that one.
Yeah.
It's too. It makes
too
too
on
much
the
sense.
nose.
Yeah.
So how do you think they introduce him into this universe of the MCU? Because you got to think, Andy, in your speculation for this,
Yes.
you also have to decide how Venom got into the MCU. Did he just show up like, oh, on the street over with Spider-Man?
I thought we were gonna go with the Topher Grace, how he spoiled it. Did you read that?
No, I didn't actually. read it.
Okay.
I'll
yeah.
you give us your speculation. I'll find
Yeah.
the comment for Topher Grace. You go
All
ahead.
right, so now I have to come up with how Venom got in the MCU,
And how that leads to Knull.
and then how. Oh, that's easy. Okay, so it's after the Multiverse of Madness, and they've mixed all the universes.
So
it's
10
also
years
how we
after
got
that.
X-Men by this point.
Oh, we got X-Men at this
Yeah,
point?
we've got X-Men, we've got Venom.
We even,
Everybody's
we
in
even
there.
did a
Fantastic
Wolverine
Four.
spin-off movie where he had the symbiote.
Yeah, that happened too.
We're,
Sure,
we're,
whatever.
we're including Fantastic Four. 'cause
Fantastic
that's part of my
Four's in
theory.
there now. Everybody's in the MCU. It's all inclusive with all the various properties. There was a side, I want to say it was probably Guardians of the Galaxy 5, where Eddie goes into space and learns about the symbiote homeworld, and that's just the comic again. And that's how we eventually learn about Knull, and then in Venom 6, we get Knull.
Also, you're saying Guardians 5 is kind of like how they're doing with the new Guardians where Thor is there for a little
Right,
bit.
but now it's Venom.
Venom's over there.
Yeah.
Just kind of get him more
We
engaged.
skip Agent Venom altogether, and it's just Eddie Brock goes and does Agent, or what was it when Agent Venom was in space? What was it called?
Space Knight.
Yeah.
Space Knight.
Eddie Brock, Space Knight, learning about Knull, and then we just do the whole King in Black thing.
As a fun sidebar, do you know why that book existed?
Space Knight?
Yeah.
So they could get to Knull?
No.
Oh.
Space Knight existed because apparently there's some comic or something out there called Space Knight, and
Oh,
Marvel
yeah.
was going
Rom
to lose
Space
the rights.
Knight.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Rom
They were
Space
going to
Knight.
lose the rights.
So they needed a comic
they
called
were.
Space
They
Knight?
did, so they could
Interesting.
retain the
All right.
rights. So they just made it Venom.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it wasn't terrible.
Wasn't the best Venom
No,
story,
no.
but
So
wasn't the
yeah,
worst.
Multiverse of Madness. All Marvel characters are now in the MCU. Ghost Rider shows up and everything.
Is it Nick Cage?
Yes. 100%. We do there's a Guardians movie where Eddie Brock becomes Space Knight. We learn about Knull, and then in Venom 6, boom, King in Black.
Okay.
Okay.
The comment made from Topher Grace. Now, bear in mind, this is going to sound realistic at first. It's not. I'm going to say that right now before people go, no, start trying
What
to
is Topher
read.
Grace even doing these days, man?
He's on a
Doing
TV
Reddit
show
AMAs.
called, what's the name of that show? I watch it. It's really good, actually.
That 70 show.
Yeah.
No, it's not that 70s show. He's on another
One
one
of my
where
favorite
he's the
shows.
middle child, and he is a writer who has a failed novel, and his brother is a Wall Street tycoon who made billions of dollars, and his sister is like some self-help guru. And they're all what?
Guru.
Grugo.
She's a self-help Grogu.
I'm gonna just say real quick. I really wish that Topher Grace would make a That 90s show and he is the dad.
That would be awesome.
That would be good.
That would be really
But no, on this
Wouldn't
show,
that be good?
on this show, it's all about the three siblings trying to like learn to live with each other
Right.
in their 30s. It's actually not terrible, but they only had 7 episodes so far. So because they got
It
like,
could get terrible. We don't know yet.
it was one of those like half seasons because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, all right, but here's what he said when asked, "Will he be in Venom? Please keep it between us, but yes, I admit it."
He said that
This
on
is
the internet.
This is on a Reddit AMA for the
yeah,
record.
it's just between us. All right.
The plot starts with Peter Parker, Tom Holland, bummed that everyone knows his identity, and then some crazy shit happens with Doctor Strange and Doctor Octopus, Alfred Molina.
Well, that aspect is accurate. Yeah, we know
Comes
that.
into his dimension. Then Electro and Green Goblin hop out of those weird energy circles, and they're like, "It's spider stomping time." Then Tom Hardy and I pop out and battle each other, and I win, obviously. It's not even much of a fight. I just kick his ass immediately.
I want this to be a thing now. I know it's not, but I
Just
want
wait, it gets better.
Be
It gets
there.
better.
Not to give too much away, but there are some actors from the
It's like half
original
the movie.
Spider-Man's 70s show, Aquaman and Batman, Ben Affleck, not Keaton, show up.
Sure. Be better if it was Keaton, but
Thanks
all
to
right.
Disney for Han Solo's ghost from Rise of the Skywalker and that Eve robot from WALL-E. Again, keep this between us.
I want this to be a thing. I would watch this movie.
The best part would be if that's actually what happens with both the Venoms, and he's thrown in everything else to throw you
everybody
off.
off. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be funny.
Great.
He's just like, "Hey, Parker," and he does the fang thing, and then Tom Hardy just punches him in the face.
No, according to him, he wins easily.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, he's not going to talk about how Tom Hardy punched him in the face. It wasn't even part of the script. They were just still filming. Tom Hardy just
He knocked him out, and they were like, "He's only here for the day. He's
Whoops.
unconscious."
all right, well, CGI it, I guess. I don't know.
All right, so Andy took the easy way out.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes the most sense.
It does. It
All
does.
right. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Oh, this should be good. Like,
Okay.
mine could actually happen. These two chuckle nuts
Oh, just you wait.
are going to come
I
up with the
actually-
most stupid convoluted
you know,
I
crap.
think you'll like mine.
We need to
I
make our
think
new
you'll like
comics
it.
experiment shirt, Chuckle Nuts.
And it's just the two of you guys.
All right. So
God.
this is going to be Fantastic Four, probably 2 or 3. They've already defeated.
Oh, so we're doing. They're in the MCU.
They
and
are
we're
in
on
the
their
MCU.
second or third movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I got you.
So we have them in the MCU. They've defeated Galactus, or at least got him away. Silver Surfer is
Now I'm just picturing Reed on the front of the Fantastic car. Just go away.
Reed,
like,
what's the plan?
I made a planet. Go get it.
No, it's like, Reed, what's the plan? I've created a giant squirt bottle.
No.
Bad Galactus. And he's the Cloud, but he's got a sad face in the Cloud.
Cloud makes a sad face.
All right. So they've defeated Galactus. Silver Surfer is now like kind of a good guy. So we start off the
I
movie.
mean, kind of. Silver Surfer is a good
No,
guy.
in the movie, he's
in
kind
the
of a
movie,
good
he's
guy.
kind of a good guy as opposed to no longer the bad guy.
Yeah,
the
let him
Herald.
talk.
Okay.
Let him talk.
Is he black or silver?
Let me finish my frickin' story, okay? Anyway, so we've got Silver Surfer. He is like a good guy, so everyone knows him with the Fantastic Four. We start off the movie with way back at the beginning of the universe, and we do the Silver Surfer Black story.
Kind
and
of a
that's
quick, like,
as a quick
prologue
thing,
kind of thing.
and it
Got it.
shows kind of how powerful Knull is, how he got trapped inside the symbiote planet, and then how Silver Surfer became black. There you go. And then we
That's how they do the opening. That's how the prologue ends. You just go, there you go.
But then we fast forward to present day. Eddie Brock is obviously Venom, and he goes to the Fantastic Four because he starts hearing voices in his head. The voices in his head, Reed starts looking into. Turns out it's Knull's voice trying to reach the hive of the symbiotes. That's how they, like, Reed does fancy science stuff and basically bonds with the symbiote and starts getting those messages. And he's like, oh, there's a king in black somewhere out there. And then Silver Surfer's like,
They
oh.
point at the screen and wink.
I know. Silver Surfer's like, that's Knull. I trapped him inside a planet.
I hit him once. Don't even worry about it.
But this, he's clearly starting to break out. We need to prepare for the invasion. And then we basically get the King in Black storyline. That would be how I bring him into the universe.
Okay.
I want to make a change to mine real quick.
Yeah.
In Venom 4 and 5 are Flash Thompson movies. And in Venom 6, Tom Hardy comes back as Eddie
Okay.
And
Brock.
Flash is anti-Venom?
Yes, at that
Love
point,
it.
yep.
Okay. And not only does Tom Hardy come back, brings his son in, Dylan.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where he's
Yes.
been. Like,
yeah,
I had
played
a kid.
by Michael Cera.
Okay, that would be perfect.
Right? He still looks like he's 12?
I'd be so okay with that.
Oh, no. Knull's played by Michael Cera.
Both of them.
Both.
Knull
He does double
and
duty.
Dylan.
They use de-aging technology on him for Dylan.
Out of curiosity,
And
what was the last
aging
Michael Cera
technology
movie?
on him for Knull. What?
What was the last Michael Cera
don't know.
movie?
Wasn't it that one where he plays like a really cocky kid, like completely opposite of who he is as a person? It's like College Parties or something.
Not a clue.
No.
You know more about Michael Cera than we do, apparently.
I remember seeing an ad for it once and going, is that Michael Cera? He's got way too much confidence.
Well, you know what, Dan? Why don't we check in with Tom Hardy and see what he thinks about Knull's arrival?
Yeah, tell me about it, Tom, even though that's not what we talk about. But let's talk about it.
You don't talk about that at all, but let's pretend for a moment we did.
First up, I want to say, fantastic film. Absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
Fantastic job. So my first question today is, I wanted to ask, what experience with comic books did you have before entering the entire world of comic book movies?
I'm going to say, in all honesty, very little. I do love comics, but the comic books that I was drawn to as a kid were the Nam, which was only had 1 year. There's only a few episodes of that. At the Punisher, and the Fabulous Freak Brothers, actually, when I was a kid.
Interesting.
Random, because my father had those. And I used to read Commando comics when I was a kid too. I liked those. So I was more, I suppose, connected to military or real world comic books, lore, folklore. So I really got to, I got guided through the Marvel, or certainly through the aperture of Venom world, through my son, Louis, who's 13. And for him, it's a very different experience, you know. To view it through the eyes of a young man who is very particular and very well versed, allowed me to take a plunge and enjoy the world as an older man into something which now has become my job, you know, and it's a great privilege.
All right. Did you read any comics about Venom before going into this movie that you took inspiration from with your portrayal of the character?
Yeah, I did. I did a deep sea dive through. I was given the entire backlog, and so which is photocopied largely, you know. So as opposed to, I don't have a grand comic collection which anyone should be necessarily envious of. Like, you know, I just turned up late to the party. I don't have everybody, like all the episodes that everybody really desires. I just had full access to the canon, you know, and then the list of characters that are available upon a smorgasbord of options that Sony has to play with. And so I dipped in and out of multiple storylines because they move around. They move around quite a lot. It's a very big constellation of movement. So one had to key into elements which were specific and work from that point, which was the Lethal Protector on the first. And then I started to deviate off of that and follow Cletus and Carnage and various variations of that and Toxin, and started to look through this aperture, the optionality in a kind of linear but radial way through that journey.
Fantastic. So with the movie, what was your favorite scene that you enjoyed just doing in general?
I love doing anything where I'm talking to Venom, alone as Eddie, anything where I can argue with him or bring him to life when he's not there. Because this is when I think it's the most alive for me, because I don't get to see the animation until much further down the line, where I have to use our imagination for that and fill in huge parts of the story and the eventual film. It lives in the imagination and the pictures and the drawings and the previses and what one can imagine. But so the most, I suppose, the most tenable moments for me when I'm shouting at myself, you know, or having an argument with you know, where he wants to come out and I don't want him to come out, or there's a panic, or there's a double bind between us.
I'm actually glad you brought that up, because that was going to be a follow-up question of mine, of how tricky is it when you have to kind of do that acting with yourself without knowing what exactly is there in the moment?
It's not tricky at all, because it's like I'm talking to a person. I'm talking to even though it's myself, I can change the response of that person at any time, because we don't really need to seal him in stone, or until the final product. We can ADR Venom at any point. What we do need to get down at the first port of call is Eddie's response to something. So we need to get and harvest as many responses as possible from Eddie to feed a scene, whilst also keeping a linear structure to, you know, beginning, middle, and end of what a scene is about and how it moves the story forward, right? But within that, there's some lateral choices that we can play with to try and muddy it up or make it feel a bit more interesting or vibrant. And so I think ultimately that is good fun. You know, that's good fun, and because I'm ultimately in control of that other voice, it's you know, I have a wonderful partner with Kelly Marcel, who can hear me as I'm speaking and talk to me whilst I'm acting, and I can talk to her through the microphone, so I don't have to leave set when I'm working. I can just talk to her, or can take notes or redo something live, or we can replay a line and then I can re-record it. So it's like there's this multi-functionality that's going on when I'm playing Eddie and Venom. It's very much being driven by Andy, Kelly, Patrick, who's feeding me the ears, and the vocal that we've laid down before, and whoever's in the scene with us, you know, at the same time. So it's kind of interesting. It's like juggling.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I'm getting the sign. We got to wrap up here, but thank you so much for giving me some of your time today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And thanks for talking to me, Tom.
Wow, didn't even answer the question.
We ran out of time, unfortunately. I was only given 6 minutes.
You had to cut off his theory as to where Knull is. You asked it off
It would have
camera.
been hilarious if you were just like, all right, number one question, where do you think Knull is in the MCU? He's like, what? But then he busts out like a crazy theory.
He's like, all right, so this is where Knull is.
He's like, I'm glad someone finally asked me.
Okay.
I would watch that.
All right. So I've decided that they're going to milk Venom
Ew.
for as much as we can till Knull. So this is my speculative theory.
27 movies. It's like the Fast and the Furious at this point.
Venom 3, Shriek. Venom 4, Phage. Venom 5.
Why wouldn't they do all the Life Foundations as one movie?
Each Life Foundation gets their own.
So basically, like they're doing Carnage right now.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, Carnage by himself. He
Wouldn't
goes
it make
first.
more sense to do them all as one movie, like the Life Foundation? They could call it Venom 3, Life Foundation.
No.
Then you introduce all the characters
Venom
as
3.
they did in the comics.
Phage.
And then number
And then
4
Venom
is like
7,
maximum
the
contact.
Lasher.
Foundation.
Ooh.
Venom 8, the Deadpool
No,
dog.
you said it was number. Wait, what?
Deadpool,
You said we were
Dead-
on.
Deadpool gets all Life Foundation at one point and it goes on a dog.
You said we were on Venom 6. You can't
Right.
change it now.
I can, I'm the host.
He's actually doing the Donny Cates one where he mentions it one, and then like 6 years later, he's like, haha, you remember this thing I
So
mentioned?
what I'm
once?"
getting at is for each Life Foundation movie, we're doing every symbiote. And one of the ones that doesn't make any sense, over with Tom Holland.
Here's the thing. Hold
fights
on.
it.
Let's say we've gotten 3 movies into each Life Foundation symbiote.
Okay.
You're saying the Life Foundation keeps making them, and Tom Hardy, or
Yes.
Eddie, just Tom Hardy. He's not even Eddie Brock anymore. Tom Hardy didn't just go and like punch somebody in the face to get him to stop.
No. Because so each of
He's
them,
actually the one making them now.
each of them are coming out of the Life Foundation and something is talking to them, bringing them all together. And you know, it's Venom. Movie 6 or 7 in the Life Foundation, quadruply. Whatever, you know, that's when he discovers like there's actually somebody making these. He doesn't put it together for a while.
Remember when I said this wouldn't make any sense? Boom. Dan's
Okay.
was actually better.
So we're like 8 into the Life Foundation symbiotes, okay?
Okay.
And
I think
then
there's only 5, but sure.
well, no, there's more.
He's got second generation Life
What is it? There's
Foundation.
I
Agony.
call this one Screaming Mimi, and this one's just named Pedro. I don't actually know why. And this
And whenever he
one-
shows up, he's like, vote for Pedro.
and then this one.
There's Agony, there's Lasher, there's Scream, there's the other girl one.
There's Phage.
Phage.
There's Toxin.
Riot, Toxin.
Okay, so there is more than I was thinking.
Yeah. Pretty much
I
any
still like
word that
Screaming
sounds.
Mimi and Pedro, honestly.
There's
Like,
Pedro,
I'm not gonna
Screaming
lie.
Mimi. And then eventually 5 of those turn into the dog one. They're all combined into one and they get on a dog, which
Right.
also gets onto Deadpool. So Deadpool has the same bit to fight Carnage for a little
So
while.
wait, now we're introducing Deadpool.
Well, Deadpool's already introduced at this point. We're like 10 years in
Yeah.
the future.
Sure, yeah,
He was
okay.
introduced in Fantastic Four 1.
So now is
was the
Ryan
Human
Reynolds
Torch.
still voicing the dog?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Do you think he wouldn't?
He would.
I'm just saying it would be hilarious if we did have Fantastic Four in the comics. Deadpool shows up on fire. He's like, I'm the new Human Torch.
That would be
So
funny, yeah,
we get
yeah,
like
yeah.
5 of the Life Foundation fights with Venom, and he goes through all other Venom stuff during it. They're just the villains for each one. You know, Lethal Protector, the one with the wife thing that happens there, other Lethal Protector, other wife thing, other Lethal Protector. It's pretty much all they did for like 20 years of them. While this is going on, Deadpool 4, he fought one
Wait,
of
we're
them as
only
well.
on Deadpool 4 at this point?
Like how long it's taken to make 3?
And that's a good point. But that's because it's Disney.
This is actually a Deadpool thing. It turns out we had Deadpool 3, 3.1, 3.2.
Okay, fine. Deadpool 7.
There we go.
He's fighting
All right.
one of the Life Foundations. And in Spider-Man 4, because we did agree that he would only get to 4 by then,
That is true, yeah.
he's
yeah.
fighting his own symbiote, okay? They all come together. Deadpool, its consciousness gets absorbed into it. It turns into a dog. So then we have a Venom movie where he's fighting the combined version of all of them. The combined version is Knull. And you've got... He turns into
So
Knull.
it's not even Knull
We don't even go
anymore?
into space
it's a
anymore.
dog?
No. They're all like almost like a Voltron
Chihuahua.
symbiote. Like a Voltron symbiote,
Pomeranian.
that's Knull. They're all combined into
This
one.
is like 90s level of superhero movie.
But it gets better. So
Doubtful, but go ahead.
So at this time, since Deadpool's consciousness is in the dog one, Dogpool is with Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
Venom, for this movie.
So like a Detective Pikachu kind of thing going on.
Yes, exactly.
You know what?
Ryan
Detective
Reynolds-
That's actually
Pikachu
not
is
a bad
really
idea.
good.
That's fine.
So we have Venom, we have the Venom dog versus Knull.
Right, which
And
is
we
not
just-
Knull.
Which is not Knull, because that's
Yeah.
how the movies work. It wouldn't be true Knull.
I mean,
I mean,
he's
the
got a
MCU
point.
movies are pretty accurate to the comics most of
But
the
it gets
time.
better. We
Sony's
then
still got their hand in it a little
Yeah.
bit.
At this point, Andrew Garfield has
90s
come back
Sony.
as Spider-Man, so we don't even have
Sure.
Tom Holland. But Tom Holland struck a different deal with Sony. He's Dylan. He comes back.
Remember when I said this would be awful?
So we got Tom Holland as Dylan, we got Tom Hardy as Venom, and we got Ryan Reynolds as a talking symbiote dog versus a giant Knull Voltron-looking symbiote.
Right. I
would
know I
just
say
say-
I would watch that movie a lot. I would not watch that movie.
This sounds more like an animated Disney Plus show.
No, it sounds like one of those off-brand animated Disney shows. That was awful.
Oh.
That was really bad.
Well, you took the easy ones.
So you had to go the exact opposite direction?
I had to make it as convoluted as
And
hell.
90
Well, you did a
is
good job at it.
as possible.
I will say, I would
You
like
know
a Venom with the Life Foundation, all of the
That would
symbiotes.
be a
I
great
think that would
movie.
be a good one.
You know how we always say, like, wow, what a waste of a character? That would be a waste of
You would
Knull.
not watch a movie where Venom's teaming up with a dog that has the voice of Ryan Reynolds.
I would watch that movie. That
it's a
movie.
buddy cop
Okay.
movie.
Yeah.
All right,
I
all
would
right.
watch your
All right.
Knull movie. I would come out of that movie going, wow, what a waste of a character.
All right, they've run out of ideas.
I thought they hit a low with Taskmaster.
I got a
but
last-ditch
here we
effort.
are.
Deadpool's mind has been absorbed into the dog who has a symbiote. So Venom and Deadpool dog.
I'm cool with Venom and Deadpool as like a Detective Pikachu thing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And they're fighting Knull,
Okay.
who has the abilities of Wolverine.
Sure, of
Because it's
course he
played
does.
by Hugh Jackman.
You know, Hugh Jackman didn't have the claws, right? That's not like something he takes with him for each
No,
role.
he did.
It's just like Tom Hardy has a symbiote.
For every
It's not
movie
even
after
Venom.
this point.
I was watching this one where Tom Hardy's a cop and he's just talking to Venom.
I would watch that movie.
Like, they don't even do Venom at
pretty
all.
Yeah.
He's just talking to Venom.
That's just Tom Hardy has a voice in his head and he talks to it. And they film it.
Does my second idea work? Hugh Jackman is Knull?
No, it's awful.
I
try.
would go more into a like Venom 3, Venom 4 as the Venom verse. And then when the Venom verse comes to the main MCU, that like unlocks Knull because there are so many symbiotes that they connect to the Hive and wake him up.
You know what I do find funny, speaking of Venomverse? Donny Cates loves to drag up all kinds of old mythology and lore into the characters and reminds you where it all came from and everything.
Yeah.
Never brought up the poisons once. That was the whole Venomverse villain. The poisons could eat symbiotes.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about the poisons.
He has his own thing. Knull. And he was setting up Knull for like 27 years.
He's
I
doing
want
that in Thor right now.
Vietnam, like the Vietnam soldiers where they had the symbiotes. That would be a
was good.
cool movie.
That would
be- Okay.
cool, yeah. Oh, Lord.
A future Venom.
I like how we're making good ideas.
Yeah,
but he's
Ben's
like,
like,
all
"Man, I
right,
could do it.
Venom.
Let's crank
no,
it up."
I'm taking my. I've got Knull's out of the picture. Venom
The whole
6.
point was Knull.
Right. Venom 6 is just Venom is a detective with a trench coat and a hat, and his dog is talking Ryan Reynolds.
What is it? Do you just want to make a talking dog Ryan Reynolds movie?
Who doesn't?
all right. I'll give you this one. How about this? Venom 6, Gwenom, and it's Gwenom with Deadpool as the talking dog.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'd watch that movie. That
Right?
actually sounds pretty good.
And then we'll also
I'm
get
not really
a
sure why we
completely
keep getting a
different-
Deadpool talking dog in our Venom movies, but sure, all right.
I'm gonna just say though, if we get
Wasn't
this
there
far,
a symbiote cat that talk?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that's
We could just
Dylan's.
have that one.
That was another
I
one
don't know
of
why
them.
you guys
What
are
was
going
that one?
Deadpool
that was
dog.
Dylan's pet.
Yeah, but
It
what was his name? Like Stabby?
We got Phage, Agony, Scream, Stabby, Pedro,
Mimi.
and Screaming Mimi.
Stabby the symbiote cat. I'm gonna look. Oh, chat's got. I looked at chat immediately. I'm like, one of them's got it. Sleeper. So I was close.
Okay, sure. I mean, they both started
Sleeper,
with S.
Stabby.
I'll give you that. I'm gonna just say though, when we get to Spider-Man 5, we better see Spiders-Man,
I would, yeah.
right?
I'm cool with that. If they did like an Into the Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
if that was his next movie, Tom Holland,
Or
Tom
Spider-Geddon.
Holland's
It
last
would be
movie.
Spider-Geddon,
Well, yeah, it would be
'cause-
Spider-Geddon, yeah.
I'm gonna just say Into the Spider-Verse, still probably my favorite Spider-Man movie.
It was really good, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it that. All right, well, I think that's a good spot to leave off this one. Stabby the cat as a symbiote.
Confirmed by Tom Hardy if you checked out the interview.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Today's episode is brought to you by a couple of sponsors. G Fuel. Use code COMICS at checkout. Get 10% off of your order. They've currently got some interesting flavors related to the movie coming out.
Which is Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Yes. Who is a sponsor of today's episode, and we were fortunate enough to interview Tom Hardy in the middle of it. I say we in the royal sense. Dan got this honor.
I also, when I went to see the movie, it was literally just me in the theater.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Like a full-size theater?
A full theater in Denver, so like a bigger than normal one. And I'm just sitting there like,
Did you get free food?
no.
Oh.
I bet if I asked, they
You probably
would,
could have gotten
but,
something, yeah.
That reminds me of the time we got to go see, it was one of the DC movies. We got to go see it early, and they walked us in ahead of everyone. And I was like, oh, the theater.
Was that when you did Justice League?
I think it might have been Justice League.
Because
But they
we
wa-
got a ton of razors from Gillette.
But they sent us in to do that, and like they brought us into a theater, and it's like, oh man, I'm all alone. And I think it was like me, Natalie, and a couple people that it was like me and the crew that were there at the time. And then it was like, oh, we get the whole theater to ourselves. And then they just start flooding in Warner Brothers employees who also wanted to watch it. And I was like, well, it was cool for like 10 minutes. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to go check out our channel where you'll see the full review of Venom Let There Be Carnage when it comes out October 1st. A few days afterwards, Dan and I will be doing a full review over at Absolutely Marvel and DC. The link to that channel will be down below, along with a way to pre-order your tickets for Venom Let There Be Carnage. Thank you guys so much for your support. We'll see you next time right here at Comics Experiment.
And then it's Venom, Let There Be Stabby.